Hello everyone. Today we will be discuss the JEE question answer part 1. Okay, first of SI unit of luminous intensity. SI unit of luminous intensity is candela. Okay, and now the Lambert also be non-SI unit of the luminous intensity. Lux is also defined as the illumination of a certain surface, unit of illumination of a certain surface, and lumen is also defined the luminescence flux. It measures the amount of light emitted from a source in all direction. Okay, I think this is answer is candela. Next is a ray of light is passes from vacuum into one medium to another medium with a refractive index mu. The reflected ray and refracted ray are at right angle, so that means their make total angle make is right angle, so angle of incidence. It also be very easy. So first you draw the curve. This is I and this is R, so I plus R equal to 90 degree. Okay, R equal to 90 degree minus I, so mu equal to sin I by sin 90 degree minus of sin R, sin R, and in place of sin R you just write 90 degree minus of I. Okay, sin 90 degree minus of I equal to cos I equal to sin I by cos I. Okay, now if you just erase this portion, so that means mu equal to tan I, mu equal to tan I, and I equal to tan inverse of mu. Okay, so this is the answer is tan I. Now in a seminar hall the distance between projector and screen is increases 5%. Then the illumination in the screen, so that will be, you know that the intensity, luminescence intensity by luminescence intensity inversely varies square of the distance from the, and if you calculate the error either increase or decrease for projector and screen is distance is increase or decrease, that means there must be present some the intensity either also of the substance is increase or decreases. So for the error calculation, you know that for if a equal to x to the power a plus y to the power into y to the power b, then error of the substance equal to dA by a equal to a into dx by x plus b into dy by y. This is the answer of the total error. We will put this value in the equation, then will be calculated. So E proportional to 1 by d square, so dE by E equal to 2 into minus of d. In place of d if you write just R, then it will be very easy, R, so 2 delta R by R, and this is the percentage error of the substances, minus 2 into 5 equal to 10%. So if then question answer C is the correct answer. Okay, that means if first derivative this portion and then again divided this portion, then we will get this. Okay, this equation, nothing else. And now the radiative constant of a decay constant of a radiative sample is lambda, half life and mean life of the sample respectively. So half life for first question is half life. You know that the radioactive atom at any time of a substance Nt equal to n0 be the initial number of atom equal to minus lambda t. Lambda is the radiative constant, decay constant, and time at particular time. So now if Nt converted to n0 by 2, that means the half life after a certain time the radiative sample converted to half of the initial sample. Just put n0 by 2. Now this and this also cancel out, so minus lambda t equal to ln 1 by 2, and now t half equal to ln half, you write minus ln 2 and minus minus cancel out, just ln 2 by lambda. Okay, ln t by lambda. So this equal to lambda t half equal to ln 2 by lambda, or ln 2 we write that log e base 2. Okay, this, and tau average, so the mean lifetime of the sample equal to 1 by lambda. This is okay. So now question number answer D is correct. And now relative permittivity of a dielectric enhance the capacitance of the capacitor is true or false. You know that for a parallel plate capacitor, the capacitance of the parallel plate, for a particular case we consider parallel plate capacitance, the capacitance of the parallel plate equal to epsilon a by d. A is the area of the every plate and db the distance between the plate. Okay, and now C equal to C proportional to epsilon, and we write epsilon as a epsilon naught into epsilon r. Epsilon naught is the permittivity free space and epsilon naught relative permittivity. That means C proportional to epsilon r, that means relative permittivity is increases, the capacitor also be increases. So this is true answer. Now if the radius of a spherical capacitor is 10 centimeter, then the value of the capacitance is 0.1. Is it true or false? So before we calculate yes or no, it will be calculate easily. So we know that charge of a capacitance equal to C into V, voltage difference between capacitors, and charge of a parallel plate capacitor proportional to voltage difference between the capacitor, and if you withdraw the proportional constant, there will be constant come out, and this is known capacitance of the capacitor. Now we know that V equal to Q by R for CGS unit. Voltage of a capacitance is equal to charge by distance from where we measure the measure the potential difference of the charge. So V equal to Q by R. If you put in place of, here also be some error, this also just erase out, and in place of U you can just put, and then Q equal to C into Q by R, and Q is cancel out, so C equal to R. Okay, for CGS unit the capacitance equal to radius of the spherical capacitor, and here radius is 10 centimeter, then the capacitance is 10 state farad. Okay, but here is 1 farad, so this is also false. Okay, that's why, so this is false statement. Now next question is, in a nuclear fission 1 gram of hydrogen converted to 0.993 gram of helium, the energy released in this process, this it is true or false. So that means we know that the energy of a substance, if this is the mass of a body and it collide with a photon and converted to other mass and also create some energy, you know, the nuclear fission. Okay, so in this process some amount of energy, some amount of parent matter is some amount of matter of parent element is converted to energy. Okay, that's why we get some energy. That means there is a presence of the mass difference between this parent and daughter element. So this mass difference converted to the energy. Okay, so here mass difference equal to 1 minus 0.993 equal to 0.007, this equal to gram. If you converted for joule answer, you converted 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Okay, so the mass difference between parent and daughter element equal to 0.007 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg. Now we know that from Einstein equation E equal to mc square. So now m equal to 9 into 10 to the power 16. Okay, 3 into 10 to the power 8, sorry, plus, this is plus 3 into 10 to the power 16. If c in place and square, then we will get this, and m equal to 0.007 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, now if we 0.007, if we convert it to this equal to 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, 10 to the power minus 3, 10 to the power minus 3 equal to 10 to the power 6 minus 6, and 10 to the power 6 equal to 63 into 10 to the power 10 joule. Okay, equal to, here is given 10 to the power 12 order in order. So if we convert it 10 to the power 12 order equal to 0.63 into 10 to the power 12 joule. Okay, so we will calculate the equation very carefully, then we will get the answer very easily. Okay, so this is false statement. And question number 8, the wavelength of the ray, when a ray of light passes from one medium to another medium, then does not change. The frequency of the substances does not change, because frequency is a fundamental property, fundamental character of ray of light, that's why it is not changed. Now the SI unit of permeability, we know that before we find out the permeability of the substance, we know that from Biot-Savart's law B equal to mu naught by 4 pi I dl sin theta by r square. You know this is the Biot-Savart's law, and 4 pi and sin theta is cancelled out because this is dimensionless, either unitless. So mu dimension of permeability equal to V into r square by I dl. B unit is Tesla, either goes for SI unit Tesla T, and here r is the length unit of SI unit is meter square. Okay, and I unit is ampere, and dl is the length, it is also unit is meter. So meter and meter square, 1 meter is cancel out, 1 meter is cancel out. So we just get B, sorry, we get that mu equal to Tesla meter per ampere, that means Tesla meter ampere inverse. This is true. Okay, next question, last question is if nu x and nu l the frequency of the extant visible light, then which is true. So if you remember that the wavelength visible light is vary from 4000 to 8000 angstrom, and for a X-ray lambda, X-ray vary from 0.5 to 10 angstrom. Okay, and we also know that lambda, sorry, nu proportional to 1 by lambda. So lambda is increases, frequency is decreases, lambda is decreases, frequency is also increases. So that's mean wavelength of the visible light is more respect to X-ray. So that means frequency of the X-ray is more respect to the visible light. So nu x greater than nu l. Okay, so this is true. But this is, we will also complete here. Okay, thank you everyone.